Hours of the day faded by. At least, I thought they were day. Inside, behind shut windows, and with the cloud cover outside, there was little way to tell. I dozed while tired and ate when provided for. Minstrel checked over my wounds a few times, replacing the dressing on my shoulder as well as giving my fleece a scrub down with some old cleaning fluid. The one he didn't touch was the bandages around my lower right leg, citing that it would be far too painful to change them for at least a few days until the anti-infection fluid soaking into it killed off the infection in the wound.
Sonny should be back soon, Murk. Don't you worry.
You've said that a few times, don't you know? Looking up from where he was testing the joints on my legs for any concussive damage, Minstrel just faintly smiled.
She's got some zipline up on one of the nearby old buildings that lets her get down the hill quick to go scavenging. Problem is, getting back up is still a trot and a half. Depending on how much she's fished out, it could be anything from half a day to a couple hours. Apparently you weren't much of a weight, so I see.
My own eyes followed his to my stomach, shriveled and showing ribs if I were to pull up my fleece. Indeed, just ahead of my hind legs, I was fairly sure a griffin could fit their hands together around my waist. Wasn't that a wonderful thought?
Just calm down, little Murk. It's big and scary come out into the wastes. I used to be in a stable. I know how it feels. You got the problem that you don't know how to be free either. It'll come. Just wait for Sonny. She'll see you right.
Perking up, I heard something. Hooves. Immediately, I wanted to gallop, to flee. What if it were Red-Eyes slavers? Spotting my tentativeness, Minstrel listened carefully, before smiling as his own older ears caught up with my finer hearing.
Well, I reckon that's her right there.
Scrunching gravel gave way to the front door opening and shutting quickly. Hey, Doc, you around?
Front room, my dear. Just checking on our little newcomer. He's up and about.
Sharp clip-clopping in the front hall came from a confident and springy step, until I saw the sandy-colored Sonny wander in, an earth pony, a little shorter than most, wearing leather fittings similar to Minstrel's, I assumed one of them stitched for both, and carrying a small bolt-action in a side holster. Her mane was a deep brown streaked with bright red, surrounding a focused but rather bright face. Across her back were at least 4 saddlebags packed full of, well, junk. I had to admit, though, I kind of wanted that big wide-brimmed hat she had on her head, even if I knew it would just fall down over my eyes. Something wasn't right, though. Before she even spoke or properly saw me, my ears twitched. Some pony was sneaking behind her. I could hear padded stepping very clearly. Some pony, light and soft on their feet and panting? While Sonny trotted farther into the room, the second presence wandered in, dirty and dark-haired. I saw something much smaller than I had been expecting. It wasn't a pony. It was a dog. Barking loudly enough to make me wince and sweat in fear, it immediately bounded across the room, heedless of Sonny's shouted command. Shrieking, I fell backwards off the couch, painfully scrambling backwards away from it. The table overturned, knocking my journal onto the floor and making Minstrel stagger backwards. Memories flared in my head, horrible and twisted. Guard dogs growling and barking in my face, or just waiting for me to try and escape to find food so they could bite me. Again. Cayenne! Whimpering, I closed my eyes, trying to ward off the attacker with my front hooves. I felt the furry head push right past them, going right for my neck and licking me? Cayenne! Heel, girl! Leave the poor buck be. Come on! Slowly shivering, I opened my eyes and had to wince immediately. I felt rough, warm, and wet slobbering licks over my left cheek. The dog seemed to grin at me while panting. Gotcha! I could see it written all over Cayenne's face. Behind the sofa, Sonny dumped her things before wandering toward the dog and I. Relieved of her cargo, I could see a bright smiley face shaped like the sun on her flanks. Despite the apparently friendly nature of this mutt, I could still feel the fear and tension ripple through me. I didn't like dogs. Come on, heel! Sonny snapped the last word with a little more sternness, leading Cayenne to bark and run over to Sonny. patting around her hooves and under her belly before sitting obediently beside her and looking up, awaiting the next command. "You all right, Buck? Sorry, she gets a little excited around new ponies she meets. She won't bite. Usually, not even when I tell her to." Sunny winked at me before giving Cayenne a disgruntled but loving look. She held nowhere even close to the sheer casual grace of Glimmerlight, but her expression was friendly and warm, if clearly weathered. I just... Minstrel coughed lightly.
I imagine Murky has encountered a few dogs before, of less spicy comedic mindset than Cayenne,
spoke Minstrel, trotting back over after righting the table and setting my open journal upon it.
Murk, this is Sunny. Cayenne was the one who sniffed you out of the rubble for Sunny to rescue.
Shakily getting to my hooves, favoring my shoulder, I nodded, trying to find the words. Thanks, I guess? Somehow I had a feeling I'd never make it as a 10-pony tower ambassador in my new life. Shaking my head, I tried again. I mean, sorry. Just still a bit confused. Thank you. I leaned down, lowering my head as I would to any master. Really, it was the only way I knew to show respect and loyalty as thanks or apology. After a brief, awkward, and silent moment, I heard Doc Minstrel cough into a hoof.
So, Sunny, aside from enough junk to start our very own scrapyard, any news? Particularly, any pony else get out from that big mess earlier? Our friend here has lost his companions, his protector, and his sister.
I saw his sly wink at me. My heart warmed to him, remembering that little point so well. Sunny settled on the sofa, lying on her side and ruffling Cayenne's rapidly panting and moving head. Yeah, met a few ponies, actually. Even got stopped by a few of Red Eye's lot. They're certainly coming farther out than normal. Some pony with big authority driving 'em onward to reclaim something. My entire body began shivering. I felt the scar on my skull twitch and stab pain. I direly wished for him to just let me go and think I was gone. Never got a look at him, but the cronies seemed content to leave any pony not an escaped slave a Ranger be for now. The rest seemed to still understand the agreement. They don't come out and bother us. We leave some good alcohol for them near the old school once in a while. Good to know that no amount of discipline and fear from Red Eye can beat a little beverage persuasion. She grinned at me, no doubt having explained for my benefit. Honestly, Red Eye's not so bad a neighbor if you know how to stay on their side. We leave a little loot for them here and there, and he's content to have the Griffins not come after us. Not like we'll be around here soon enough. Soon as we got enough caps to make the journey, we're out of here. Right, Doc? Minstrel nodded, smiling thinly. I could swear I saw him glance at the picture nearby. But I saw one pony down near the old bank on the outskirts. Almost shot him on sight. Big. One heck of a nasty old brute. Could have sworn I knew him from somewhere a while back. Looked way too dangerous to approach. A raider for sure. Never any sense in tangling with those types, I tell ya. All pumped up on drugs till they don't care if you put one in their body. Not often you see them out this close to Philadelphia. Straightening up fast enough to make Cayenne leap to her feet, I gasped and stammered incoherent words, trying to figure out how to put it. Eventually I found my tongue. "That's my friend!" The look on Sunny's face could have been a painting for the ages. Her glance flickered from me to Minstrel, and back a great many times. "The big red stallion." "Yes." "Huge muscles, scars, war tattoos." "Yes, yes." "Covered in gore and bucking every lamppost in sight out of apparent sheer anger and uncontrollable rage." "That's him." Sunny resumed that slightly opened-mouthed look of bewilderment between myself and the lightly nodding Minstrel. A good 10 seconds of sheer silence passed with little movement other than Sunny's face attempting to smile as it looked back and forth between us. "I am very confused right now." This could take some explaining. "Woof!" agreed Cayenne.